All right, I think we're live. I don't know if we're live or not. Thank you guys for coming back to Cobra TV. Real quick here, let's see if we are live. We're going to be talking about Cyberpunk 2077 today, and No Man's Sky a little bit. If you guys wanted to call in after we get done talking about Cyberpunk 2077 and talk about No Man's Sky, then of course, the floor is yours. The mic is yours. If you want to call into the show, the Discord link is down below. Join the Discord, get into the Atlas 102.5 FM room, and get on the show, guys, and tell me what's on your mind. Is it Cyberpunk? Is it No Man's Sky? Is it something else? All right, looks like we're live. Laura Eigen, how you doing, buddy? Thank you so much for being here, bud. I want to thank the Patreon supporters, the sponsors on the channel here, and who joined the channel to be a sponsor. I want to thank the subscribers and even the people that aren't subscribed that come by, watch the show, comment, and hang out with everybody. But we are going to go ahead and I'm going to get one or two more things ready here, and then we'll be right back. And I'm almost ready. We'll be right back, guys. I hope everybody is having a good old Friday. We got Adzaloni in the chat, Tyreek Starks, we got Phil Cartoons, Matt Barrett, Dave Langer, Peaceful Gamer, Goon, go pick up some pizza for dinner. Back in a few. Oh, he's going to pick up some pizza. We got Cuz Waltz is in the chat. We also have Jack Gall. Jack Gall, dude. Keep going, bro. That dude is getting so big. He's been weight training. He was just a little puny guy, and now he's starting to look like a bodybuilder. So good on you, buddy. Good on you. We got Liberty NC in the chat as well. We got Adokua. Okay, so I think we're pretty much ready. So let's go ahead and get down and go into the show. We'll get this music off. Got Infinite Lightning in chat. What's going on? What's going on, guys? Thank you so much for coming back to Cobra TV. This is the subcast, and with there's not a whole lot of No Man's Sky news to talk about, and I think we're all anticipating getting another update sometime here in 2019. I think it's going to be early. I think the new countdown that we've got, as we see that it's been extended, I think that we're going to possibly get an update when that's finished. That's, just a guess. That's all we could do is guess, but I really think that that's what's going to be happening. We are going to talk about Cyberpunk 2077 for the bulk of the show tonight, and this game is absolutely amazing. We're going to talk about the map, the size of the map, which we really don't know, but we've got a couple hints from the developer about the size of the map, and we're also going to talk about the lore of Night City, the lore of how it was created, and some of the gangs. We're going to talk about the districts that are in Night City as well. And so it's going to be amazing. Dave Langer says, Cobra TV, you should also start talking about the Outer Worlds. I should. Dave Langer is right on point there. I should. And we will. We definitely will. So what's on the agenda first? I am going to be, okay. So this is all video game stuff. So when I say this is not reality, right? I'm putting a bounty on somebody's head. End game. No Man's Sky, I'm putting a bounty on a player's head. Not a real life bounty. Just a bounty on somebody's head in PvP in No Man's Sky, right? I'm putting a bounty on Snow Obsidian. Now, this isn't join his game and kill him and show me. This is a controlled. This is a controlled bounty. Okay. There's a few things about this. You have to stream when you're fighting him so I can see what's happening on your screen. The reward for this bounty is a real official mint condition level 4 Atlas Pass created by Hello Games. I've got a couple left, and I'm going to be giving one to the winner who can beat Snow Obsidian in PvP in the Galactic Thunderdome. If you're interested in attempting to win this Atlas Level 4 pass, message me on Discord or Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter at XXX, that's 3 X's, XXX Cobra. 3 X's Cobra. No underscores, no nothing, just at 3 X's, no space, Cobra. All right? I am at my wit's end with allowing this kid to be the best PS4 PvP contender out there, right? I want to see him taken down in PvP in the Galactic Thunderdome, and I am willing to give one of the last few Atlas passes that I have left to the person who can beat him. He's not 100% undefeated. Snow Obsidian lost his first couple rounds as he was getting used to PvP and upgrading. He lost, and then he went and he worked really hard at upgrading. He worked really hard at getting everything. Ooh, I don't have I don't have any alerts. Jason E., thank you so much for the donations. Says much love for the Cobra and the Cobros. Happy New Year to everyone. Thank you so much, buddy. Happy New Year to you and to everyone else as well. So you heard it right. I am giving an Atlas Level 4 pass. This is real. This is not homemade. This was sent to me by Allison Smith, who are the ones who made them for Hello Games. And on the back of these, they customized them for me. These are official. It says Cobra TV on the back of these. But they are official. They are the real deal. That's exactly the same thing that everybody else got when they were sent the Level 4 pass. So the bounty on Snow's head is real for video games, right? And the reward is a Level 4 pass. Go ahead and take a look at the chat here. We've got Atlas Pass. What's up with it? Hi, Cobra. Single player. I'm putting a bounty on somebody's head. Somebody who is recently undefeated. No one can beat Snow Obsidian after he worked really hard in practice and upgraded his multi-tool and his exosuit really well. But he did lose in the first couple rounds he ever fought in the Galactic Thunderdome, but he wasn't prepared. But he did become very well prepared after a while. The second pick is single players. This is single player in the chat. Single player, what is going on? So this is single player. She's in the chat, and this is her. These are her 2 level 4 passes. So that's awesome, single player. Good. We got to see that. All right. So do you guys got that? Okay. There's a bounty on someone's head. And if I don't have messages in my Discord or my Twitter or my Facebook, I am going to be really bummed out that there's a guy in the PS4 community who is literally the best and nobody is stepping up to the plate to show that he's not, right? I'll fight him again. But I'm not going to win because I know where I stand with Snow Obsidian. And I'm really upgraded. I mean, come on. I can't beat him. I'll admit that. But I'll fight him again. Legacy Zero is also stepping up to the plate to fight Snow Obsidian to see if he can beat him. But the thing with that is, he doesn't want the Atlas Pass because he's already got one. He wants me, that if he wins, then I have to buy one of his shirts and wear it live on stream. And you guys don't want to see me. I have not had a haircut since October. Oh, wait, no. It's been... Okay, let me rephrase that. When I got into the car accident, I was already overdue for a haircut. I've got long hair right now, guys. I look worse than Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. So, I look crazy, dude. I look really crazy. All right. Okay, so that's it. That's all I wanted to say right there is there's a bounty on Snow Obsidian's head. You have to stream it so that I can see what's going on in your stream. And I can put his stream. He's got to stream it too. And I can put those two streams together. And we'll go back and forth from a bird's eye view to your first person perspectives. But that's the only stipulation, is that you have to be able to stream it so that I can stream your stream. But wait a minute, it will be delayed, won't it? I don't know. Maybe for quality assurance, we'll have you stream it anyway, so that way we know there's no trickery going on. But there is a bounty on his head. And we got Play Burn saying, simulator since you just look like one. Play Burn Simulator since you just... okay. All right. So let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and get into Cyberpunk 2077. We're going to talk about the map. We're going to talk about the districts. We're also going to bring up a little bit of the lore of what Night City is, how it started. As you guys know, Cyberpunk 2077 is nothing new. It's been around for a while, so there's a lot of story and lore out there that we can actually talk about. And a lot of that is going to come over into 2077. Okay, so... Sorry about that. I'm just moving things around. All right, we're all situated. So, do you want to talk about Cyberpunk 2077? I want to know in the chat, how many people are excited about Cyberpunk 2077? If you're excited about it, hit 1. If you're not paying, you really don't care, hit 2. 1, you're super excited. 2, Jason the King is in the chat. What is up, my bro? Man, Jason the King has been with this channel ever since I was wearing a mask. Ever since I was wearing a mask back in the old days. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll jump over here. And first we're going to talk about the lore of Night City, and then we'll go into what's being put into the actual city as far as development, how big the map could possibly be, and okay, so there's some 2s in there. Got a lot of 1s. I'm curious, the people that are putting 2, I'm just really super curious. Did you guys watch the 50-minute gameplay video? Just out of curiosity. Because I was excited. My ear was tuned into Cyberpunk 2077. But once I caught wind of that 50-minute gameplay video, I was beyond excited. And I never made a video about it. I don't know why. I really don't. I think we were just laser focused on No Man's Sky because of Waking Titan and stuff like that. Okay, so people, Lorigan has definitely watched Cyberpunk, the 50-minute gameplay. Okay. All right, so today, today we're going to be talking about Cyberpunk 2077. Bleh. Okay, so today, let me start over. We're going to be talking about Cyberpunk 2077. We're going to be talking about the lore of the city, the size, the possible size of the city. We're also going to be taking a look at the districts. We're going to be taking a look at what's going into the development of the game itself, and a large portion, there was a large sum of money that was devoted to the research and development of building the city, the building Night City. And we're also going to be talking about there's the 50-minute gameplay. No, it wasn't the 50. It was a shorter trailer that you could see an actual map in the rail system, the train system. And so a lot of people on Reddit, and I'm going to credit them, have really I zoomed into that thing and recreated the map so that we could all read it and see what's going on that map. Now, keep in mind, when we look at that map, this map is, I think that the lines are just for the train system. It's not showing all of the ins and outs of the streets and alleys and things like that. It's also not showing how the city goes vertical and how it could go actually underground, and we'll talk about that later too. But let's go ahead and talk about Night City. As we all know, Night City, first of all, if you guys are following Cyberpunk 2077 religiously, like I am now, but you're not going to learn a whole lot from this video or from this live stream. You're not going to learn a whole lot. We're going over published articles and things like that, and information that's been out there for a while to get us all caught up on what Cyberpunk 2077 is, its development, its news, and things like that. And once we get all caught up, we'll be there waiting with on pins and needles as new information starts to come out, and we'll be reporting on all that new information. But we want to get kind of caught up first. We want to get kind of caught up on what I've been missing this entire time, because I have not been researching this game, but it's been out. Cyberpunk is not new, so it was a board game and some other things. So let's go ahead and go over some of the lore that's been created for Night City, so we can get an understanding, because they're not going to scrap all this for the Night City that we're going to be playing in 2077. They're going to keep most of this, definitely all this lore and stuff like that. But the city is going to be definitely modeled after the lore as well. So let's go ahead and dig into Night City's lore. The world is broken. Megacorps manage every aspect of life from the top floors of their skyscraping fortresses. Down below, the streets are run by drug-pushing gangs, tech hustlers, illegal brain dance slingers. The in-between is where decadence, sex, and pop culture mix with the violent crime, extreme poverty, and unattainable promise of the American dream. Night City is the Free State of Northern California. It is located in the west coast of the United States in the Del Coronado Bay. As of the year 2020, it is said to have around 5 million inhabitants across its many boroughs, and in 2077 was voted the worst place to live in America. Sounds like a place I would love to visit, right? It's the central location, the pen and paper RPG series, Cyberpunk 2013, 2020, and version 3.0, and the upcoming Cyberpunk 2077 video game. Okay, so the history of Night City starts with Richard Knight. Night City was the brainchild of businessman Richard Knight, who became dissatisfied with his experiences in managing corporate construction projects as part of his company, Halsey, Ferris and Knight. Sorry about that. This led him to break off and form his own company, Knight International, with the end goal of creating the ideal city. Situated in Del Coronado Bay, the city was originally going to be known as Coronado City, and Richard Knight envisioned it as a utopia in which cities across the country could look up to as the gold standard. After the collapse, many of the megacorps also looked at creating such a space in which crime and poverty were non-existent, as well as the laws that impeded their sometimes unethical work. By 1992, megacorps, Araska, EBM, and Petrochem had all invested heavily in Coronado City. Knight purchased many of the rights as well as large swaths of land surrounding the Del Coronado Bay from Petrochem to secure the land for the new city. By 1993, the construction of the city was well underway and the bay had been dredged and Upper Peninsula had been extended. The existing residents of Del Coronado had been relocated to a new area as Old Downtown and the central hub of the city, where the corporations were based, would be the new downtown area. The Mob Wars. After Richard Knight's death in 1998, the city was renamed Night City in his memory, after which several different groups vied for control. Local mob figures battled with the corporations, resulting in anarchy in several sectors, and the police force became ineffective against such groups. By 2005, the mob had control of the city's infrastructure and the corporations, who had no desire to govern, retreated back to their corporate strongholds and suburbs. The time between 2009 and 2011 were known as the Mob Wars. The city had grown to be incredibly violent, with murder and gang activity at an all-time high. It's unclear whether the corporations attempted to deal with the mob, but it's unknown that the mob was bad business for the megacorps. In one fell swoop, heavily armored Arasaka paramilitaries took to the streets to deal with the mob, after which they were effectively defeated. The corporations placed puppets in the local government and started a policy of cleaning up the war-torn city. The homeless problem grew out of control when new laws stated that anyone without finances to renovate their home would be removed. The affordable housing of the city had been taken over by Corps troops, displacing hundreds of residents. By the year 2020, the mob wars were long over and the city had become a relatively peaceful place, with the downtown area being policed at all times. However, the dangers still remained and the scars have not yet healed. Weapons are commonplace in everyday-to-day lives, and it would not be out of the ordinary to see a gun next to a briefcase on the sidewalk. What's really cool that I noticed in the 50-minute gameplay is that there are different levels of health insurance and things like that. So what we've seen when V was rescuing that high priority person who was kidnapped and to be harvested for their implants, when they removed the chip, it stated that this was a high class person, and when the ambulance or the paramedics, when they showed up, they had armed guards. They're armed paramedics, and you could see like someone like maybe V might not have that kind of luxury. So when you're hurt, you might not have an ambulance show up, a paramedics show up with guns to protect your life by means of lethal force, and also the health quality might not be as good either. So there's definitely classes that you can see that's in this game, and I wonder if like the police force, if you have to pay for protection as well, like the paramedics. So if you have a high class, if you're a high class person, you get really good police service or security services. But if you don't, if you're homeless or if you're living in the slums and you got like a mediocre job, or maybe you're a criminal, maybe you don't get any police service at all, or if you do, it's just one guy who just got hired, or one guy who's not really good at his job to protect you. Who knows? So I would really definitely, maybe that's already confirmed. I don't know. I've really just started doing a lot of research on this, and I have not gotten to the bottom of the barrel just yet. So we've got the different districts that are in Night City, and let's go over a couple. There's a lot here that are part of the cities from like previous versions of Cyberpunk, but the ones that we know for a fact that are in Cyberpunk 2077 are shares some districts in common with the traditional layout of Night City, with some exceptions. The city is divided into 6 districts, each with their own environment and denizens. I don't know. Okay, so we got City Center, which is where V started I believe, and because they walked out and they showed City Center with that amazing crowd tech where they had all those NPCs walking around and waiting to cross the street, and every one of those NPCs looked really unique. It was really amazing. Like, you didn't see a whole lot of repeats. They are doing absolutely amazing on this game, making it look as realistic and feel and sound like you could hear the sounds of advertisements in the distance. You could hear music playing from over there, and they have like really good music in this game. And then you could hear people talking, people on the phone. You had religious people walking around as well. So it was just really immersive. But that was City Center. It's a commercial district containing tall skyscrapers, home to many of the game's corporations. Then you got Watson District, which I believe they're in there as well. It's an Asian-influenced, rundown building once owned by corporations, home to immigrants. Then we got the Westbrook District, which is a Japantown, home to wealthy elites. And I think that at one point in time, you could see like what looked like Chinatown in the gameplay there. Haywood. Growing gangs largely Haywood is growing gangs largely Latino, but also a wealthy district as well. And then we got Pacifica slums full of gangs, and then Santa Domingo is an industrial district. Now, I immediately, when I saw the trailer and everything, I started thinking to myself, what is this map going to look like? How big is the map going to be? And does it need to be big? We've got big maps now. We've got the Red Dead Redemption 2 map, Witcher 3. And one thing we know from CD Projekt Red is, they have DLC, and I'm usually against the DLC for what these companies are using DLC for. But what I saw from The Witcher was an amazing addition to the game, and it did not look like a cash grab. It didn't look like they were holding back stuff just to sell you a half-finished game disguised as fully done, and then sell you the rest of it later. Which I know there's a lot of companies out there that do that, and I think you know which ones they are. But their DLC for Witcher 3 was absolutely amazing. So I can see that happening with Cyberpunk 2077 as well, where they sell, when it's time for DLC, we'll get more of the map. We get more places. The map has been described as being more vertical than it is big radius-wise. And so we'll talk a little bit about that. Let's see here. Witcher developer. First, let's talk about this amazing thing here from that they received $7 million from the Polish government. Witcher 3 might not be. Witcher 3 might be a not so distant memory, but Cyberpunk 2077, the next game for CD Projekt Red, is slowly appearing on the horizon, especially considering that Poland's National Center for Research and Development has shelled out a staggering $7 million. That's $30 million to them for research and development, although they hadn't confirmed that it's for the urban modern Cyberpunk 2077, but it is. It actually is. So we get a little bit more information on that in a couple of different articles. I've got links to these articles down below if you guys want to go check them out. So this one here talks a little bit about it. As covered last year, Polish government is partly funding several proposals from CD Projekt Red. In total, the Witcher 3 developer has been granted roughly $7 million to realize 4 game development goals, including cinematic feel, seamless multiplayer, animation excellence, and city creation. So $7 million has been pumped in from the Polish government to do those things right there. And what's interesting is seamless multiplayer. They said it's not going to have multiplayer at launch, but they are working on it. It is in development, but there is no solid promises that we're going to have it after. They're looking into it. They're developing it. We'll see where it goes. But $7 million to do those 4 things there, and city creation is partly is part of that. So one of the biggest things that's important to CD Projekt Red is the city. It's got to feel real. It's got to look real. It's got to have things to do in it. It's got to feel like it's living and it's breathing, and you're not going to be bored. It's not cool to have a map that's just big and nothing to do. So they're going to put things in here to do. And when they were talking about the size of the map, and a lot of these articles are old, we're just trying to get caught up on information here. So here's some statements about the size of the map. Recalling what was said ahead of The Witcher 3, level design coordinator Peter says about Cyberpunk 2077's world that it shouldn't be big, it should be enough. It's hard to put an exact number on the world size because the city is so much more vertical this time around. People ask us how big the game world is, and it's a really tricky question. First and foremost, it's very hard to measure because The Witcher 3 was pretty flat with landscapes and mountains where everything could be observed from the top down. Cyberpunk and Night City are very vertical. So there are a lot of opportunities to introduce depth to your exploration. So in terms of size, I'd like to repeat what I said a couple of years ago when we were talking about The Witcher 3. It shouldn't be big, it should be enough. And I love that statement. I absolutely love that statement. That is amazing. Because he's 100% right. I mean, we could have a lot of space, but what are you going to do in it? I mean, having a lot of space it could be boring. I mean, with multiplayer, it could be kind of fun, having a lot of space with not a whole lot. But they're releasing this as a single player game, so having a lot of space and nothing to do could get kind of boring. And from what we've seen from that 15-minute gameplay trailer, there is a lot of things that we can pick off from that, which I am definitely going to do. I'm going to look through that because you see V start off in her apartment, and she goes in. Or goes out, and you can see like this big structure that she's in. It's like this gigantic condominium, and it has like this micro. It's like a micro city inside there, and they said that it can go way up, and there's lots of things, lots of places to go into. You're not just going to have a bunch of locked doors and stuff like that. Now, I wonder what the consequences are going to be for trying to open up somebody else's apartment door. And I wonder, because I would imagine we could. If you could be a techie, you could easily open up somebody's door. So I wonder if they're going to be waiting in there, shoot you, chase you down. Maybe the police get called and you have to worry about that. But it would be nice if we did have that option to open up the doors and get into a little bit of trouble and see what's going on inside. Maybe break into people's houses, apartments, when you watch them leave, and you can go on inside. So that would be pretty cool. Night City holds 6 districts, another article reads, but I can't give you an exact number in square meters because no one counted this yet. Also, this is tricky for an urban environment. Night City has lots of buildings, and these buildings have floors. You could have 120 square meters of space, technically taking up 60 meters squared of space in a tall building, and we will have many of them explorable, he says. Each floor can house a lot of activities. Each floor. And we saw how many floors were in that gameplay where V walks out, and you could take a look at that micro city that she's living in. Floors stack, he says. The Witcher 3 was in a way much flatter. The activities were scattered. Here, the world can be huge, but it can be huge upwards or downwards. So it looks like we're going to have a lot of underground as well, as looks like not confirmed, but the way that sounds like we're going to have multiple layers. We're going to have the below the surface, and then buildings that skyscrape all the way up that you could go into. And that just sounds amazing to me. I think I would rather have that than a huge map that would take you 30 minutes to cross. I don't know how you guys feel, but that to me sounds more interesting than having a big map. Let me know down below, guys, what you think about having a condensed, massive map that has explorable everything, right? Or not explorable everything, but sounds like there's a lot to do. And $7 million is being pumped into this from the Polish government for research and development on, building the city and the landscape and things like that. Part of that money is for that. I would much rather have the condensed version, most definitely. But it also has to be big enough to be able to, because you got cars, they're fast. You don't want the player to get into a car and start driving around and then realize, oh, I'm at the end again. Well, let me turn around. Oh, I'm at the end again. So there's got to be a balance. It's got to be big enough. I would say a good size map that it's not entirely too big, but one that I thoroughly enjoyed being in, that you could get to one side to the next really fast if you tried. But if you didn't, if that's not what you were trying to do, there was a lot of places to go. Is Liberty City. The Grand Theft Auto Liberty City map was a good, decent-sized map. It wasn't big, but it felt like it was big enough. It had a lot of different districts in there as well, and some underground stuff too. So Liberty City is a good map, and I think this, if you ask my opinion, it might be the same size as Liberty City, but it's going to skyscrape up, and it's going to go down below. There's going to be I want to be able to get lost, in Cyberpunk. I want to be able to get a little bit lost, and knowing me, I'm definitely going to get lost. So it says here, a previously revealed gameplay demo for Cyberpunk 2077 showed a good bit of the game, including some of the multi-level interiors. A driving segment also showed off a good chunk of very different areas, but it isn't clear if the player moved through a single district or between different ones. Nevertheless, the game is already showing off a lot of space for unique activities, and based on what we know now, I believe he did go through multiple districts. I don't think he was moving through a single district, because V came out in City Center and looked up, I believe it was City Center, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was City Center that V came out in. And we've got a picture of a metro map, and it seems to be like the metro map for the rail system or the train system that he was in the trailer. And we're going to take a look at that, and that's this map right here. Don't worry, we got a clearer version thanks to somebody on Reddit who I'm going to give a mention here in a second. But this was the map that was in one of the trailers, and it shows City Center right there. And then I believe at one point in time, didn't they say they were in Watson, the district, in the 50-minute gameplay? I can't remember. I had to go back and look. Maybe I'm also wrong about her being in City Center when she walked out of her apartment, but I do believe at one point in time they said they were in Watson, or maybe they were just describing that that big heavy hitter that she got into the car with and gave her that the Mr. T looking guy with the gold arm, and I believe maybe they said he was some boss in Watson, or if they were in Watson, I'm not sure. I can't remember. I'm sure you guys will let me know down below. But judging by how big City Center is, you got Haywood just right over there, and I think that they definitely did drive into multiple districts in that. But let's go ahead, and I want to credit this person. This person is the Six of Spades. This was 7 months ago that they did this, so you can see I'm late to the game. 7 months ago, Ace, the Six of Spades, recreated the map. Now, we can't see this one too well either, but thankfully, he also did a black and white version, which we're going to take a look at right now. Here's the black and white version. Now, this one we can definitely go into and we can read. But we're going to have to go back here because if you look at Pacifica, it's all in the red. I believe it was in the red. Yeah, see, it's all in the red here on the map. So I don't know if that's a place you can't go to, or if they said you could go anywhere from the start. So maybe that is just danger. Maybe the rail system that they're taking does not travel to Pacifica. And if we go back, let's go back and see what was the deal with Pacifica. Pacifica is slums full of gangs. So what I imagine is that in Pacifica, this rail system does not travel there. It just stops. Maybe it's just too bad of an area, too bad of a neighborhood, and the rail system absolutely will not travel into there. So maybe that's super, super dang dangerous, and you have to go in there by your own means, and the rail system just completely stops there. There are a couple other ones that are on the red that you can see in there for some reason or another. So maybe those are also, maybe you can't travel there, or maybe it's just the dotted lines the rail system doesn't travel in. But let's go ahead and take a look at this. Really isn't a whole lot that we can go off of, but you can see like different streets here. And what it's not showing us, though, it's not showing us the verticality, the verticalness of the city. I don't know my words. It's not showing the city going vertical, and it's also not showing things that are down below. And why is that? My opinion is because it's not going to show that because the rail system doesn't go up. It doesn't go below. And these are all just things and areas where the rail system is going to stop at. And I think these streets that you can see on there might be stops that the rail system will actually stop at. So I believe these are stops and probably doesn't represent every street that's in the game. But you can see here, Graduate Row, Pigment Way, Pacific Manor, 20th Street, Blackthorn Street. So really the names doesn't really stand out to me, but somebody who has followed Cyberpunk for a very long time might recognize some of these names in previous Cyberpunk lore. But if you do, please comment down below what you guys know. It'd be interesting, super interesting to hear. They did also comment on that Reddit page that there's a lot of bird names, parakeet, Hummingbird Way, and things like that. So a lot of people think that maybe some of these are just placeholder names, and they're not. It's possible that none of these, or not all of these, are going to be permanently named this way. I don't know. I think it's possible that they are permanently. I mean, it's right there in the gameplay, and I think a lot of the gameplay has been. I think it's pretty much done at this point. They're probably bug fixing at this point. It is going to come out this year. I really truly believe it's going to. The funding, like they have to show what they accomplished with that funding, with that Polish government. And I had it up on the screen. I'm not sure if it mentions it here in any of these articles, but they did have a time limit. Right here, all the applications mention a timeline from January 2016 and January 2017 till June 29th, 2019. The development goals must be reached within this time frame, implying that Cyberpunk 2077 should be released somewhere in the first half of 2019. Of course, there's a possibility that these deadlines will be extended if requested. Now, I'm on the other side of, I hope that they do, if needed, extend the deadline. I hope they delay this game if needed. I'm not going to get mad if they go, hey guys, we really want to make this a really cool game. Don't you want to play really cool? So we're going to have to delay it for a little bit. So let us delay it, and we'll make sure that this is 100% what you guys are, wanting. So we'll release a really good product. I'm all down for that. I hope and pray that they do need that. They will do that. But it does sound like, and it looks like, based on looking at the gameplay, looking at the trailers, looking into things like there's some developers that are going back home at this point. If you follow their Twitter, there's some people that are just like, hey, job's here is done. I'm going home, blah, blah, blah. So it's like, the people are definitely getting more laxed and going off and doing other things. So it's possible that we are getting close to the release date. They are very secretive about this game, but it's very possible we're getting towards the release date. But again, I don't want to talk about the release date too much because expectations and then them getting stressed and cutting corners and releasing it because everyone gets upset that it's going to be delayed. But there is a deadline of sorts here from the Polish government by June 29th of 2019. So I'm excited. I'm not going to bank all of my excitement on the fact that it's going to come out by then. But somebody left a comment on my YouTube channel on my last Cyberpunk 2077 video, and they said that that it would be smart for them to release in 2019, that they believe that they're creating this for PS4, Xbox One, and also next gen, right? But they want to release it on the PS4 because, and this person commented at a very good point about how many units of the PS4 sold. I think it was like, what was it? Correct me if I'm wrong, like 90 million or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's completely wrong. But the point is that if they wait till next gen and release it early on as next gen is pushed out, like the PS5, the Xbox 2, whatever they're going to call it, if they wait until then, they're not going to sell as many copies. Right now, the PS4 is in record number homes. And if they release it on PS4, it's going to sell like crazy. And that's another reason why I think that they might be in a hurry, because they want to release it on this generation of consoles. Because if they don't, they're going to lose a lot of sales. Or at least it'll be slow sales, right? It'll be slow. If they release it right now, it'll be boom, like millionaires overnight, even more than what they are. I mean, it'll sell like crazy if they release it on the PS4 and Xbox One. But I understand that if they do wait till next gen, it's not going to sell that much right away. And we all know that like the first week counts, right? So that's the news there on that. But if you guys have anything interesting about the map that you know of on here, see, we got City Center here, we got Watson, we got Haywood right over here, and then something really cool, Orbital Air Space Center. So I wonder what that is. Orbital Air Space Center. And there's a lot of hovercraft vehicles in the game. They said somewhere that they weren't going to have any flying vehicles in the game, but I see a lot of hovercrafts. So if you could comment down below to help us out. I don't know if they're going to. I'm pretty sure we're going to be driving hovercrafts, because you see them all over the place. See them in the trailer. So hopefully that's the case. I do hope so. Yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for Cyberpunk 2077, the map and things like that. We're going to be opening up the lines here pretty soon if people want to come on the show. I'm going to come back here to the chat and check out the chat. And if you're watching this on the stream, thank you for showing up and, I don't know, just sharing in the excitement of Cyberpunk 2077. I'm beyond hyped. So let's see, what kind of stuff are we all talking about in here? GTA Online Apartments suck. Yes, and that's a good point with Grand Theft Auto Online Apartments. They're their own instance. Like it's not like you're still part of the same game world. It's its own instance. And in Cyberpunk, there's no loading screens. There's no separate instances. When you go into an apartment, you're literally there in that apartment, and still in the game, right? So you're still in the same world. It doesn't take you away and makes it just one, a different instance. It's all the same instance. So that's good about Cyberpunk. Let's see. Skyrim is awesome. Still playing the VR version, says Lorigan. Lorigan, man, I was born in the 80s, says JB111082. So Lorigan says, about to reach 100 million. What? David, I prefer, wait, don't know what that means. Folk Cartoon says, good point about releasing on current gen consoles. Yeah, I do believe that is a major motivation for them. If you're releasing a game and you're a big company, AAA company, and you want to release a game, do you want to wait until people have the less amount of consoles possible? You know what I mean? Or do you want to release it when it's at the peak? I think it's going to be like Grand Theft Auto, I think. Grand Theft Auto 5 released on PS3, and then it was also sold next gen on PS4 with improvements and things like that. So I think it's going to be the same exact way. And before, if people know that, are people going to buy it twice? Of course they will. Are you kidding me? I bought Grand Theft Auto 5 twice. I kicked myself in the butt for doing that, because of things that I don't want to mention here right now, that feelings I have with Rockstar. Rockstar for me is an emotional bag, right? Red Dead Redemption's amazing, but then I've got some deep-seated feelings about Grand Theft Auto 5 that I don't like. We got Cobra TV sended you interesting tweet. Okay, team, I'll check that out. Also, if anybody has donated on Super Chats, I don't know if I've got the... I think the alerts are working, but I'm not entirely sure. So if you did and I didn't see it, I deeply apologize. And if you did donate and I didn't see it, please let me know down below, guys. Okay, we got artifacts of no piloted flying vehicles. Yeah, but I see so many of those hovercrafts. I don't know. We're just got to wait to see. Maybe they consider a hovercraft different from a flying vehicle. Maybe they mean no planes. I would definitely like my car to hover just a little bit off the ground, you know, like a speeder from Star Wars. Artifacts of Exile Cobra TV, shout out to the toxic and unfriendly elitist Path of Exile community, and it's been bad support such as code of conduct. What? What is that? I have no idea what what you just made me read. Shout out to the unfriendly elitist Path of Exile. I don't know what that is. You're going to have to be a little bit more specific, Artifacts, buddy. 21st Century Father says, I'm under the weather, but just dropped in to say hi, to say I'm playing No Man's Sky. Oh, I've bought Skyrim 3 times. I bought GTA 4 3 times Xbox. Okay, guys, I'm going to open up the lines. Let me go over here to, oh, we got quite a few people in the Atlas room. I'm going to bring in Jay. I don't know who was first. Jay, what is going on, buddy? How you doing? And thank you for coming on Cobra TV tonight.
Hey, Cobra, how you doing?
I'm doing great, buddy. Doing absolutely amazing. How are you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing fine, man, but I'm really like you, man. I am hyped for Cyberpunk.
Oh, my gosh, dude. You know, like, it was something I was really excited about, and I was paying attention to it, but I wasn't Cobra paying attention to it, right? And then when I finally decided to, I'm bored, I don't know what to look at or read, I'm just going to look up Cyberpunk. And when I did, I was just, like, sucked into this rabbit hole that I cannot climb out of.
Yeah, it's almost like No Man's Sky in a way. Insofar as you can get sucked down into a rabbit hole and that you can't crawl out of.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Lorigan just donated to the Super Chat saying, so glad to be watching your show live again. Shout out to all the Cobras and Cobrettes. Thank you so much, buddy. Thank you, Lorigan. Hashtag that Cobra in the chat, guys. But, yeah, see if we can get some 50-minute gameplay up here while we're sitting here talking. But, yeah, man, as far as rabbit hole and getting lost, I mean, this city is going to be, it's going to be massive up, and it's going to be massive down, and it's going to be massive below the surface as well.
Yeah, it's actually, in my opinion anyway, it's actually going to be a much deeper and more lived-in city than even Los Santos in Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, definitely. I can see that already.
So I assume you've watched that almost hour-long gameplay video, right?
Yeah, I definitely did, dude.
Yeah, that didn't do anything but hype me even further.
Let's see. I'm trying to find it now so I can have it kind of rolling in the back while we're talking. And we'll play this one here. Kind of get past the... I don't know what YouTube's doing to us for, like, the nudity portions. I don't know if they're, like, dinging people for that. But, oh, well. Whoops, there goes some right there. Sorry, YouTube. Sorry. All right?
I don't know if they've flagged anybody for that or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm definitely not sure. Artifacts, but thanks, Cobra TV. Yeah, the Path of Exile community is really toxic and unfriendly, so I just wanted everyone to know to stay away from that, stay away from this game if you... Wait, what game? Path of Exile? Is that a game?
Yeah, I reckon it's like a PC game.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and get some more callers. We'll start stacking people on here. Phil Cartoons, I see you in the Atlas room. Go ahead and join the show whenever you want to, buddy. I believe you are Patreon, so you can come right in if you want to. We got Stubborn Ninja joining us on the call. Stubborn, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good tonight. How about you, Cobra?
I'm doing great, man. Absolutely wonderful. What do you think about Cyberpunk 2077?
Really, no, I haven't followed it. The last time I really watched it was prize drop at Xbox, waiting for that No Man's Sky Next trailer.
Oh, I see. Yeah, there's a big 50-minute gameplay that you should definitely check out, where they walk through and they show the city off, and it's innovative, dude. I mean, it's ambitious, and they what's interesting is they were given $7 million from the Polish government to for research and development of this game.
They were given a loan by the Polish government. I think they have to pay it back.
It was a loan, or was it a grant? I thought it was a grant. I'm not sure.
You might be right about that, but I thought they had to pay it back.
Huh.
You're gonna be able to pay that back. That is nothing in the grand scheme of like Witcher 3 impacted. Didn't that win Game of the Year?
I believe so.
I'm pretty sure Witcher was kind of the last big splash I know from CD Projekt Red. I did see that 50-minute gameplay, but I haven't taken the time to watch it. There's just been so many great games this year. Great year for games, probably one of the best I can remember. Really,
Stubborn, you're Corvaxing out pretty bad.
Hang on, let me see if it might be my microphone.
It sounded like we had Kanye West joining us for a bit of auto-tune going on.
I was going to say T-Pain.
He said T-Pain. We've got Josiah just joining us. We also got Phil Cartoons. How you guys doing?
Great.
So what do you think about what we just talked about the map size? Are you happy with a more condensed living and breathing map rather than it being super huge?
Yeah, definitely. I prefer quality over quantity, definitely. And your description, what you were reading out about the kind of the verticalness of the map, the fact that you've got so much depth and elevation to go in the buildings as well, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Nickel, Cameron, and the chat. No, we're not a console. I game on PC and PS4. And I would game on an Xbox One if I had it, but I game on everything. I mean, I don't limit myself to just PC gaming when there's stuff that you can also play on consoles that you can't play on PC as well. So, you know what I mean? It's just like, why limit yourself? But no, we talk about game development here of mostly, if you want to get down to it, on accident, a lot of the games that we do bring up are PC only because a lot of them are indie developers and they're startup companies, and they talk about we talk about those games which by default, by not being popular enough, those games tend to come out on PC first, and some of them make it to console. But yeah, it's a mix. We're a mix. We got people here that play PC only. We got people that play only consoles. Just a bunch of everybody, and we don't fight with each other. There's never been a console war, has there? Or like a platform.
This community is amazing. This community is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I agree. When do I think it'll be released? We talked about that. I definitely feel like it's going to be released this year because of many factors. Based on the stipulation that the Polish government gave them with the development of the $7 million that they were using for this game that was given to them by the Polish government. They had to be done or show proof that they're done by June, I think, of 2019, and also waiting until the game was next gen would be kind of dumb because there's less consoles there in people's homes right now. That we're at the peak number of PS4s sold and Xboxes sold, and everybody already has a PC that's going to have a PC. You know what I mean? So right now would be the peak time for them to hurry up and get this game pushed out before next gen actually came out. And looking at this game, I really feel like this could be a next gen title for sure. But when you're looking at it, it definitely looks like something that can definitely be on current gen, 100%. But yeah, guys, as far as the map size, like you said, quality is better than quantity. But I think it's got to be a good mix because you don't want to feel like you're always getting to the end of the map when you're driving around. So it's got to be somewhat biggish to where you're not feeling like you're bumping the four corners of the map.
Well, yeah, you're right about that. There has to be a balance, but it has to be a bit bigger than your average Joe city.
Right. Nickel says he plans on buying both on Steam and GOG. Oh, that's cool. Very cool. What do you think about the plans for that they have for multiplayer?
I didn't know they had plans for multiplayer.
Not for release. It's definitely not. They're saying no multiplayer for release. Velo the Alpha DK, thank you so much, buddy, for joining the Cobra TV family here, and for joining the Cult of the Atlas. That's right, Cult of the Atlas, spreading over into Cyberpunk 2077. Thank you, buddy.
So are we gonna change it from Cult of the Atlas to Cult of the Blade Runner?
Right, or Cult of the Night City. I don't know. No. Our roots are always going to be No Man's Sky, and that's never going away. But it's like there's so much good stuff out there. Why limit ourselves? And I remember somebody on I think it was Adzaloni. I think last subcast said that he thought that Cyberpunk 2077 was a little more, a little too mainstream for me. We got another. We got Larry Gianarelli. I'm sorry if I butchered your name there, buddy. I really am sorry. But thank you for joining the Cult of the Atlas and the Cobra TV community here. We're not a cult. It's a long-standing joke with the community here. We're not a cult, and Cult of the Atlas is a game reference to another game. But thank you so much for subscribing, buddy.
But Cobra, every cult says they're not a cult.
I'm not going to ask you guys for incriminating evidence to use against you if you threaten to leave. Right? We don't do that.
Don't drink any Kool-Aid that Cobra offers.
Right, and don't drink the Kool-Aid. Did you guys hear about the statement that Leslie Benzies has stated in court against Rockstar?
Discovery uploaded.
Oh, you got to hear this. See, Bravo. What is going on, bud? How you doing? And thank you so much for subscribing to Cobra TV. And welcome to the Cult of the Atlas and the Cobra community. I got to think of a new line here. Oops, I'm still on Echo. Wrong button. All right. Thank you so much, bud. Okay, but anyways, Leslie Benzies is in he's been in court with Rockstar for a while. They told him to take a sabbatical for a little while. Take a vacation, a 6-month vacation. Get out of here. You're too stressed. Go, right? So he did, and while they were gone, they lied and said that he walked away from the company and that was a breach of contract, and took him away from the royalties, getting him, taking him away from $150 million that was already owed to him. So he sued Rockstar. Now this guy's also making a very ambitious game called Everywhere, and so he sued Rockstar for the $150 million. He lost, and because of the shady practices that they did, the way they did him. But now they're suing him again. They're suing him again because he called his new company Royal Circus Games, And they said that that was too much like Rockstar games. So they're suing him for that, and they're also suing him for trying to solicit people from Rockstar to come to his company. Now, in court, it came out that Leslie Benzies, who is the former president of Rockstar North, or vice president, something like that. He was one of the three guys. He was the Hauser brothers and Leslie Benzies, right? He came out in court and said that there's unethical practices inside Rockstar where they have incriminating photos and nudes of people that they use against him as blackmail. So the former president of Rockstar North literally said that in court.
Rockstar might be going down the tubes.
Well, I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying that, from someone that used to be one of the presidents of the company, that's pretty shocking for him to say something like that. But
yeah, it is. And if anybody would know, it'd be somebody like him.
Yes, but then again, you also have to play the devil's advocate here and not just take his side, but you also have to think, well, the guy just got screwed out of $150 million.
Yeah, that would make somebody pretty salty.
You know what I mean? So you can't just 100% believe it because there's no proof. But the fact that he did say it is a very strong accusation.
Well, weren't they recently under scrutiny for like 100-hour work weeks and things like that?
Oh yeah, that was also part of it as well. That was it. Yeah, I'm going to be doing a live recording of that on the other channel. We actually have another Cobra TV channel. It's called Cobra TV Live. Let me see if I can grab that link real quick. And I'm going to be recording like 60% of my videos over there live. And then I'll be uploading them here on Cobra TV. So let me go ahead and get this up on the screen. So here's Cobra TV Live. It's going to be a live channel. Nothing here is going to change. Everything here is going to stay the same. But if you'd like to hear me record some of the videos and just come online and chat with you guys and stuff like that, I'll be live there doing a lot of my recording. But I'll be making a big video about Leslie Benzies, Rockstar, that whole thing. But yeah, it's crazy. What a crazy story. And I hope it doesn't impact the development process of what Leslie Benzies is doing with the game everywhere.
Yeah, that game does look pretty cool.
It sure does, yeah. All right, let's... We got Ace in the subcast room. Let's bring Ace in here. Ace, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. What's on your mind tonight? Talk about No Man's Sky, Cyberpunk. What's on your mind, bud?
Cyberpunk.
Oh.
Any of you? It does. Anybody curious about what options we might be able to do? Evil,
what do you mean?
How do I say it proper? What kind of character we can kind of do of playthroughs through it?
Well, it has 3 different types of play. I think Techie's one, Solo is another, which is a combat. And
Netrunner is the next, if I remember correctly. Also,
what's that?
Netrunner.
Yeah, Netrunner, where you're like. I can't. The Techie is the one that's got like drones and lots of high tech gadgets and stuff like that. You're like the futuristic Batman, and the Netrunner, you're like the hacker and things like that. And the other one, Solo, is a fighter. What you can actually play a combination of all 3, or you could upgrade your character to the point where you are solely one of those. And the cool thing about it is, if you upgrade too much, there's like this condition that you can get to where it makes you crazy. So you're going to probably come across NPCs. Cyberpsychosis. That's right. I imagine we're going to come across some NPCs that are just going postal and probably trying to shoot up in the middle of city center, like shoot everybody up, you know?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to allow player characters to do. They have said we're not going to go crazy, with the cyberpsychosis, at least with our character.
Okay.
But they have said they're gonna do something. So what benefit and non-benefit we're gonna have is definitely gonna be interesting to see.
Right, I agree. And we're talking about the map size tonight. I think someone in the chat said, "Do you think it'll be as big as Red Dead?" I don't think it will be as big as Red Dead. This is just a guess, but I would guess about the size of Liberty City from GTA, because there was enough room in there that you didn't feel like you were constantly hitting the end of the map. And with Cyberpunk, they want it to feel like this is a real city. There's depth to it. You can go up in these buildings. There's a lot of enterable places. There's activities on every level of some of these buildings. They even said it can go downward as well, so I imagine that's below the surface.
That would be so cool.
Yeah, so it's going to be a stackable type of map that I would say probably, as a guess, would be probably the size of Liberty City, because there's a lot of driving in the game, and they probably don't want us to always bump the end of the map.
Yeah, and I reckon the entire game is one instance, right?
Yes, all one instance. Yeah,
a few loading screen as ever possible.
Right, exactly.
If I remember them correctly.
Yep.
So, yeah, we're gonna at least have a few out city area if after what they have shown is kind of the trailers. If you look back at some of them, kind of like redneck area. Kind
of really? Deal. Like countryside?
A little, not too much. Like it's just outside a few kilometers or so.
I see.
From the city.
I haven't even seen that. Could you link? Is there footage of that?
Yeah, it's in some of the official trailer. It's just about a second or two.
I might have to go back and take a look at that.
It's only a few seconds where you kind of see kind of a big guy having a shotgun.
Right.
If you look behind him, he kind of like a little farm kind of deal.
If I could buy a house in the middle of nowhere in Cyberpunk, you will find me sitting on the porch with a shotgun.
In a rocking chair.
Exactly.
Exactly. We're gonna be able to, not at the start at least, but they might give a chance later. After what I can understand about the setting. Since I heard about this game, I'm kind of dove in a little to the lore of it.
Right.
So,
I'm excited. When I first learned that, when I was looking for the map, and they kind of like were saying, well, it should be better, not bigger, right? And I started getting kind of depressed, like, oh man, I want a really big map. But then when I started researching, and they were talking about how vertical this map is, I was just like, wow, mind blown. Like, and they showed like the inside of where V's apartment was, and how it was like a micro city. There's a movie that I seen that. Have you ever seen the movie Downsize?
Yeah, I've seen that. Matt Damon.
Yeah, do you know the part where he was with that woman and she lived in that micro city place that looked like kind of like what V lives in? And that's what it reminds me of, where they had like those condos and there was that big open area where everybody was sitting and talking and stuff like that. That's what, and also Judge Dredd. Remember that movie? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So it definitely reminds, and as soon as I started thinking about those factors alone, I was just like, wow, I am totally fine with a map that is more vertical than a map that is bigger radius-wise. We got Dave Linger in the chat saying, Cobra TV, one of the most exciting parts will be the branching storylines, and depending on who you meet first or don't meet, the story can play out differently. Exactly. The trees that are in this game, like the decision trees, are just beyond wow. You could do things so many different ways, like where they showed how they went and got that robot, how they said that they were just going to go in and buy it, but they could have came in and just tried to kill everybody, but everybody in there was super dangerous. the different ways you could play this game is definitely going to be something worth watching on YouTube, watching everybody play and make different choices and decisions, and the character customization where you can pick your own history for your character is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're basing this off the Cyberpunk tabletop RPG, so it should be pretty deep.
Yes, which is, something I never even knew existed until the announcement of Cyberpunk. So I've got a lot of reading to do to get caught up. I got a lot of purchasing to do. I think I might get that tabletop game and see what the deal was with that. And
I found the picture, if you're interested, in the official Cyberpunk trailer.
The picture of the countryside, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, where are you going to post it? You got Twitter?
Nope.
Okay.
Don't have it, so I can either send it as a private message or do it in Discord.
Yeah, just go ahead and throw it in Discord.
Okay, it's gonna be on the public.
Gotcha.
But you have to go
I'd love to see that myself.
1 minute and 2 seconds into it.
All right, so 1 minute and 2 seconds. Let me get the link to this, and I'll get it thrown up here so we can all see it.
Hey, Cobra, I just walked in through the back doors.
Hey, what's going on, buddy? How are you?
I'm good. It's Lou Reagan here, guys. How you doing?
Oh, doing great, man. Doing great. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. You said 1 minute and 2 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. It's got like a San Andreas feel to it right there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely not inside the city. Kind of more outside.
Yeah, you got a lot of rolling hills there in the background. You see that?
Yeah, it does look awesome.
You know what? I think they're downplaying the size of this map on purpose. I really think looking at those hills in the back, I can imagine that there's going to be long country roads, long stretches of freeway that is, not occupied by a lot of things, and you can see a lot of backpackers and homeless people out there. I think the map is going to be bigger than we're giving it credit for, to tell you the truth.
It might be, but it still has a chance to be kind of small depending on how big they're going to make the city.
That's very true.
Unless they're separate maps. It'd be like separate maps.
And Witcher 3, they added onto the map with DLC as well.
Yeah.
But it can also be a way to kind of limit expectations, because it's been such a kind of common thing to judge a game before it's released by the size of the map, and everyone seems to be getting so excited about big maps equals big game, and kind of explaining this way ahead, just trying to give, like you were explaining about the vertical size of the map. So maybe it is going to be a lot bigger than we're expecting.
Exactly.
But they're just kind of covering everything, so they don't start getting negative feedback from people who don't really understand.
Right. Yeah, I do agree with that. I really do.
Yeah.
Someone.
Did anybody else hear a puppy?
Yeah,
I did too.
It's a cat. Don't worry about it. Nicole in the chat says, "Look into the lore. There's a class called Nomads." Really? I will definitely do that. Dave Langer says, "Density is more important in my opinion." You are 100% right, Dave Langer. That's what I really want for this game. I don't want a big, wide map that's huge. I want there to be like, how cool was Liberty City? That's still one of my favorite maps of any video game ever. But in Liberty City, you can't go into all those buildings. And that's kind of a bummer. Now, in reality, you go downtown, you can't go into all those buildings either in real life. But you could.
Yeah, you can. You just get in trouble.
Right, you'd be in trouble. So in GTA Liberty City, you should be able to go in those buildings even if the cops are going to come after you. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, I definitely want more vertical than radius-wise. But from looking at this picture, those mountains in the background, definitely seems like a lot of land to cover there. And I would imagine that there could be a portion of the map where there really isn't a whole lot to do, just to give you driving space at the very least for a gaming mechanic, just to be able to cruise and drive and give yourself a long distance to travel. to make it feel like the game's big. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But this definitely gets me more excited. And thank you for sharing this picture with me.
I got those jobs up that I saw advertised for CD Projekt Red. So they're advertising for senior lighting artist, environment artist, and senior environment artist. So they're kind of actively looking for people right now.
Wow.
So if anyone's in games and wants to live in Krakow...
they could also be hiring for DLC as well.
That's what went through my head, Cobra.
Mm-hmm.
I might do that.
Yeah, because I think they did. I don't know if it was them or somebody who was just writing a piece mentioned something about Cyberpunk DLC being similar to what they did with Witcher 3. So I can't confirm that, but I wouldn't expect anything less, to tell you the truth. And it's probably one of the very few companies out there that I feel comfortable purchasing a game that's going to have DLC from is CD Projekt Red.
Well, they've got such a great pedigree, haven't they, with Witcher?
Yes.
Yeah, and the level of polish they put into all their games is simply astonishing.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, the performances should be top notch. Writing, great. The art direction is going to be astounding.
Oh, yeah. We got Mario saying DLC in the chat. Cyberpunk map is 4 times larger than The Witcher. Yes, I think they did say something like that, but they also said it's going to be the biggest thing they've ever created. But again, they keep going back to when they talk about those points, they talk about it being vertical.
How many years in are they in development?
What's that?
How many years are they in development already?
Ooh, I don't know the answer to that right away.
About 4 or 5, I reckon.
Well, I saw on some
they began full production right after the latest DLC for Witcher 3, if I remember correctly.
There's something you showed earlier, Cobra said they announced it in 2012.
Okay, yeah. That sounds about right. Because they came out with a picture first of...
Yeah.
It was just a picture, and then we ended up getting that weird trailer where that person was that woman, she had cyber psychosis, and she was being shot up. And then that was what we had.
That was the first thing I ever saw of this game.
Yeah.
And you spoke a little bit about density, and when I think of dense maps, Arkham City immediately comes to mind because you couldn't go 10 feet in that game without something to do.
Yeah, that is, and also, Red Dead's pretty open. There's a lot of space in Red Dead that you don't utilize.
Yeah,
but what makes Red Dead really fun is that there's a lot to do in Red Dead. There's if you want something to do, you could completely do like this path, and if you don't want to do that path, you can go do this path. There's a lot to do in Red Dead, and I really feel like we're going to have that on steroids with Cyberpunk, with things to do. When they say that there's multiple levels, there's activities on every level. Like when she's walking out of her apartment, going out into the lobby, you see that guy boxing that robot. And I really feel like that's an activity that you can get involved in. Either boxing somebody real or practice boxing that robot. Who knows?
You mentioned Red Dead. One of the coolest things about Red Dead is hunting, and I reckon there's going to be like a bounty system in Cyberpunk somehow where you get missions to hunt down other NPCs for cash.
Yeah.
Oh, that's definitely going to be something like that.
Oh yeah.
Just from the setting you get from the extended gameplay, it's definitely going to be in there.
Man, yeah, I can't wait.
I don't know if I should.
No, so what do you think about the rumor about it might come out here in 2019?
I think it's a good rumor. I think it has a lot of validity. For one, because of the money that the government gave them and the time limit that they gave them, June of 2019. and also the fact that they'd be stupid not to release it at the peak of all the consoles. Like, I think like 90 million people have PS4s, just for an example. If they waited for next gen, they'd have to wait towards the end of the year to release it until, everybody got their PS5s.
They have actually promised to do both this gen and next gen.
Yep, I knew it. Yep. It's exact, because I told people earlier that it's probably going to be exactly like GTA 5 was. They released it on PS3 and PS5, 4. Blah, 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 blah. All these numbers.
Yeah. So,
and we know how good you are with those, Cobra.
Yeah, horrible. That names, people with S names. If there's like 2 people with S names, I'm going to get them mixed up. I don't know why.
Yes. Oh, I'm also getting so excited for it. I hope it's going to come in 19, but many say it's probably first early 2020. So
I think I'm going to suck at this game.
I don't know, man. I got my fingers crossed for this year, but that's not.
Yeah, me too.
I don't want them to rush it. You know what I mean? I want them to take their time with it. If that means 2020, then fine. Just give me stuff to talk about. I want to see some stuff. I want to talk about some stuff. Keep us informed. Keep teasing us with this awesome game.
Not too much. Then I just want it now.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Too much teasing just make you want it even more. And disappointed when you don't get it.
Exactly.
I like that ricochet thing element in the game.
Oh, I know.
Yes.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, that was so cool.
That was. I heard it's more for those who are not into so much first-person shooters. They have something like that to kind of help them.
Yeah.
People.
Well, I thought it was just an added layer of strategy involved in the shooting, ricocheting bullets off corners and things.
I'm really excited that it's going to be first person. Like, I used to be strictly third person only games, and I used to hate first person games because I wanted to see my character. But once I started playing No Man's Sky, and I was forced to play in first person for so long that I love first person, because when you think back on your gameplay and you remember things that happened to you in the game, you remembering the visions of that game in first person, it kind of feels like a real memory of what you've seen. Right?
Yeah, it does a great job of like drawing you into the world.
Yeah. Now, even though we have third person in No Man's Sky now, I still play in first person. Always.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Me too.
see, first person. I'm weird because on first person I prefer on PC, and then consoles are like third person.
Yeah,
it's weird.
I absolutely can't go back. When I see a game, I used to see games in first person. I'm like, oh man, it's only in first person. But nowadays, I look at a game and it's in third person. I'm like, oh man, it's in third person. No.
Done a total 180 there, didn't you?
I was the complete opposite. I usually hate third person until I play Horizon Zero Dawn. It kind of get me into third person.
Oh, really?
That's a great game.
That's an awesome game.
Yeah. Really, I guess some games are suitable for it. I mean, Beyond Good and Evil 2 is going to be all in third person. But again, and that's because of the character customization and things that you could do and the hybrid that you can customize to be. You want to see that.
Yeah, you want to see that.
Right.
Definitely.
And this game, too. This game has a lot of customization that you could do to your character. And you will be able to see it, I imagine, because you can ride a motorcycle. When you're on a motorcycle, it goes to third person. So you'll be able to see your character that way.
Yeah, that you'll be able to see it in during that and cutscenes and things like that.
Yeah, cutscenes, and also probably
through mirrors.
Yeah, I was going to say mirrors as well. Yeah.
So you're at least gonna have a feeling on what your characters look like. Right.
What about you, Ace? What kind of character do you imagine? What kind of roles do you think you're going to play?
Definitely an evil one. Then I'm gonna go the good one.
Okay.
I probably gonna do all three kind of purities playthrough with maybe Netrunner only,
Right.
and maybe a mix of one or all three. That's gonna be a lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
I already have mix and match of a few plans, at least for it.
I think I'm with you. I really want to be like a mix of all, but the techie part is what I want a lot. Because that's one of the reasons why I like Batman so much. Because he's got all this tech and stuff, and he's just a badass. And I want to kind of feel like that when I'm playing. Like I definitely want combat, so I definitely want the solo, but I also want the tech part of it as well. Not so much the hacking, but
you see, that's what interested me. My first playthrough was gonna be straight up hacker.
Oh, really?
I'm probably also gonna do a sneak character, maybe as one of the first. I don't know yet, but kind of like the hacking, sneaking part. Who knows? A lot of possibilities.
Dave Langer makes a good point in the YouTube chat.
What's that?
Says the devs said first person made most sense for this game because of all the tech you add to your visor. Makes more sense for a first person view.
Yeah. And they've also said they wanted you to feel more immersed in the world as well, which I definitely agree with. I love the scene right here that they're showing here on that I'm showing here on the screen, where it's like a boss battle.
Love that one.
Yeah. I love the fact that there's going to be bosses of sorts.
Yeah, it's like Metal Gear
Also,
Solid.
like that you kind of can use the environment kind of to your advantage.
Oh, yeah. I tell you what, man, I don't know if people are really paying attention to this game, but this is revolutionary. This is you want to talk about ambition, and this is ambition from a AAA company, right? And usually you don't see too much ambition from a AAA company. You see a lot of rinse and repeat. Let's make a battle royale. Let's make a shooter. Yeah. It's all the same default stuff because they know it works and they know it sells. You hardly ever see a lot of ambition come out from AAA developers, and it's really refreshing to see this game because this is exactly what pushes the industry forward. Is when people are ambitious, whether it be indie developers or AAA developers. It normally helps more when it's a AAA developer being ambitious because it gets out there more. It's more widely known and it becomes more popular. So I'm really happy that Cyberpunk 2077 is a thing and it's a part of reality because a lot of games are going to use this as the gold standard and try and improve and be better.
I think in general, Eastern European developers are sort of, more of the artistic and more of the ambitious. Like, they want to produce something that's, something different and a bit more in depth. Like, when Mafia 1 and 2 first came out, it was like, I think it was like 2K, but the Czech 2K people, and that was something that was pretty cool.
Right. I agree. We got third person says he likes Wayne Marcus likes third person. Ziggy likes Batman 1989. Trigger Happy says I think they should add both first and third person if someone wants to use either or. I always think it should be an option. I think that wouldn't be hard to do.
They promised that first time, to be honest, but they changed their mind later.
Somebody is breathing really hard into the microphone.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but they've obviously changed their mind, though.
Yeah. They later changed their mind. I think it was a few months after they kind of said they were gonna do both, that they're only gonna do for first person.
So
a little bit sad, but
This is an odd question. But would you guys play as a male or female character? Now think about some of the things that are in this game. Bisexuals and one-night stands.
Well, if I'm given a choice, it's just been a rule. It's just been a rule of thumb of mine. Just been a rule of thumb of mine. If I've gotten a choice, I always play a female character, and I don't know why.
I do that a lot in fighting games.
I usually start with the male and maybe do female later to kind of see what's reaction's gonna be different.
Right. Dave Langer says female. Peace Unreal says both. Yeah, I think I when I get the game, I think I'm going to play through the story and just get through the story, and then I'm going to play through it again and just have fun.
Yeah.
That sounds like an idea to me.
Yeah, and I think I'll use male and it'll be it'll be different, male and female both, I guess. And Ziggy says, "Don't forget to leave a like and share the video. Help this channel." Thank you so much, Ziggy. Thank you, buddy. Peace Unreal says they said genders make a difference in the story. So yeah, you would almost definitely have to play both to kind of experience everything.
Yeah, and still, if you only have 2 playthroughs, you're definitely not gonna experience everything.
Right.
With all the options that they kind of said they're gonna have. People you have to meet to kind of unlock certain side stories and all that.
Yeah.
So is this a day one purchase for you guys, like it is me?
Oh yeah, definitely.
If
I have the money for it at that time, I'm definitely gonna purchase it right away.
I'm a wait, watch, buy guy. Wait, watch, buy is what I do. So.
I usually also do that since I have gotten burned a lot.
Yeah.
But there are a few game companies I am willing to take a chance on. And CD Projekt Red is actually one of the few.
I can see that. Because Walt says, will you live stream the gameplay? I sure will, 100%. I will. And I'll all of us should live stream it. Everybody should live stream it because everyone's gameplay is going to be different. It's going to vary from each other's. And I'm curious to see, what decision I made. And I'd go to one of your channels to see how you made a different one, to see how it changes and what's different about it. So definitely, if you guys do pick up this game and you do live stream it, join our Discord and go into self-promotion and post your gameplay of it there. And also, if you do upload anything, even right now, if you upload stuff and you're in the comment section, you guys always are allowed to type in the chat, hey, I upload videos, check out my YouTube channel. I don't consider that spam. This is a community and that chat room's yours. So they can click those little 3 dots and go to your channel and see if they want to subscribe or not. So, by all means, whenever you want to do that, just do that.
Cooper, I'm gonna have to head off now. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, buddy.
So, have a great weekend, everybody.
You too as well, man.
You too, Phil.
Thank you, bud.
Cheers, guys.
Bye. All right, so I don't know. Is there anything that you guys want to bring up about Cyberpunk that we didn't talk about? I know this live stream was pretty much focused on the map size and density of the map and other things that had to do with the map, but we're probably going to be ending the show here pretty soon, so if there's anything you want to bring up about No Man's Sky or Cyberpunk, by all means, go ahead and do so.
Well, I'm interested in subtle things, not necessarily the story, subtle things like, can I make a friend?
Well, you could do one-night stands, so I'm pretty sure you might be able to.
You can also have a long-waited relationships.
That's right.
So
that's right. Yeah.
You can do that too. So friends should be possible also, depending on the choices you make.
Right.
Might be friends with some of the people that you work with.
That's a cat.
That's not a cat.
That's a funny sounding cat, Cobra.
Yeah, a cat that barks like a dog. That's interesting.
Who's this?
I've already been in here.
Oh, is it gonna work now?
Oh, hey, buddy. Are you trying to talk Josiah?
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay. Who? Stubborn? Are you trying to talk?
Stubborn. Yeah.
Yes. Is it working now?
Yeah,
Is my microphone working?
Yeah, it's working, buddy.
Yeah, I've pretty much set. Oh my goodness, I've set out this tired. I was trying to get my microphone. Finally started working now. I've sat here in the background.
Oh no, you
just at the end of the
time, huh?
Yeah, I sent you a message. I was going to see if you could see it. I wanted to bring up Convergence 2019. It's just January, but I was going to see if we're going to have one this year. You know what I mean?
We're going to have one if there's enough hype to have one.
Okay.
Something like that, an event like that only works when people are really excited and really pumped, and we had the very first one. It was in 2017. It was the anniversary of No Man's Sky. It wasn't called the Virgins then. And then 28, and when we had that one, we were waiting for Atlas Rises. So everyone was super pumped. Everyone was coming together and excited. So
I remember that birthday stream. You guys were trying to sing Happy Birthday. I remember that. That was hilarious.
Yes, most definitely. And then in 2018, Next was on the horizon during the anniversary. So that Convergence did really well because everybody was super excited. We all coming together again. I guess it's going to have to work. We'll have to see what 2019 brings. Are they going to do something special for the anniversary again? I think they are. And if that does happen, if there's that big ramp up of everybody super excited, by all means, yeah, we're going to definitely do it.
Well, if you do have one, I'm there with bells on.
2.0 is coming.
What's that?
Am I? Uh-oh. I might be Corvexing again. Uh-oh.
No, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, good. I'm pretty sure they're going to bring 2.0, dude. It's like 1.78 or something like that now. I'm pretty sure they're going to bring 2.0. But I don't know if you remember, I built the convention center for 18. So I was just curious since I did that. I wanted to start working on, because I kind of have some ambitious, the 2019 convention center, kind of thinking how we can bring more people in game. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just thinking about all that.
Yeah, I definitely want to do it. But there's got to be enough excitement in our community. Right now, I think everybody's just like exhausted from waiting for something to happen, and there's a lot of fishing lures on the internet that are keeping our attention busy, like Cyberpunk 2077. It's like so we just got to wait and kind of feel things out. I think Waking Titan might return because it was definitely a question on the survey.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll return.
But I think it might be more in control of Hello Games this time rather than Allison Smith.
Yeah, I'll say that much. It was kind of out of control how long it lasted for how little we got in the beginning.
Right.
I think April.
Anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, bud.
Thank you. Let me. Okay.
Say that again, Stubborn.
So I was going to say thank you for giving us the platform to kind of talk about this kind of stuff between Cyberpunk and No Man's Sky and Beyond Good and Evil 2, all of this, and just giving us a platform, man.
Oh, sure, man. It's fun, dude. And if there's other games you think that would be a great discussion, tweet them at me on Twitter or send me a private message here on Discord. I don't normally check the messages on Discord a lot. Like, if you want to get a hold of me, Twitter's the best way. I'm spending less and less time on Facebook and more time on Twitter. So if you want to get a hold of me, just get at me at XXXCobra. 3 X's and a Cobra, no space, no hyphens or anything like that.
In my experience, Facebook is a cesspool.
Facebook is really upsetting me with their ads. Like, at least play it before I watch the video.
Yeah.
Just roll the ad before the video starts. Don't, just hate it. I hate it. So weird. But anyways, I digress. All right, guys. I think we've punked ourselves out for the night. And if you have some awesome ideas for some more Cyberpunk shows, discussions, topics, things like that, message me on Discord, message me on Twitter, and we'll definitely get into those topics and things like that. So I think that's we're going to call it a show, guys. I want to thank everybody that came out to the chat today, everyone who came out and dropped a like and commented. Thank you so much. Thank you to Patreon supporters. Thank you to people who donated through Super Chat, Streamlabs, all that stuff. You guys rock. If you did donate through something and I didn't see it, please just don't feel bad about calling me out. I definitely want to thank you if you did. And Patreon supporters, if I mentioned them, I can't remember. And everybody that called into the show, guys, thank you so much for coming out, man. You guys made the show tonight.
You're welcome.
Hey, thanks. Thanks for the platform, Cobra.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Nope, no problem, guys. If you guys have any Cyberpunk ideas, Cyberpunk 2077 ideas for a show, please message me, and I'll get to working. Just put me to work. I like to work. And I was getting nervous there because there's no Man's Sky stuff to really talk about, and I'm like, I want to do something, and I don't know what to do. So put me to work, guys. All right. Oh, remember the bounty on Snow Obsidian's head. If anybody can beat him in the Galactic Thunderdome, I'm going to send you an official level 4 Atlas Pass. If you can beat him, but I got to see your screen so I know that you're not turning off your damage.
Is it okay if we kind of plug in a mouse and keyboard adapter and use a mouse and keyboard?
No, you can do whatever way you want.
All right. I'm pretty sure I could beat him that way.
All right.
I'm pretty sure I'd get my butt stomped.
So we're probably going to be going live tomorrow with the Galactic Thunderdome. I don't know what time. We'll probably do it at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be late, but we're also going to do it earlier on a different day as well. So you could either contact me when we're doing the Galactic Thunderdome saying, hey, I want to fight Snow Obsidian and get that Atlas Pass, or you could just message me and set up a day and time, and we'll work together to see if all of our times can fit, and then we'll broadcast it. And I want you guys to take this dude down. It's his winning nonstop. I've had enough of it. I love the guy to death, but somebody's got to beat him. All right, and I'm giving up a prize. Okay. All right, guys. Everyone, have an awesome night. Thank you so much for coming out to the show. You guys are amazing.
See you guys.
See you later, Cobra.
All right.
Great show. See ya.
See you,
Thank
Cobra.
you, buddy. Thank you.
Hello.
Thank you so much, guys, for coming out to the show. It means a lot to me. We'll be back every Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a subcast. Make sure you message me or comment down below what topic you would like us to talk about next. We're also going to be doing the Patreon show. It's a paranormal show that it will be made public eventually. But I'm letting the Patreon people help me critique it and make it sound really, really good. So I'll be uploading it over there. But everybody, you won't miss it. I'm definitely going to upload it publicly soon.